and G8 EEY Mike, both in and out. Any more G8s, please? Nothing heard, so we'll move on to G7s and M7s. G7s and M7s, please.
Golf 7, November, Echo Hotel, G7NEH.
Mike 7, Alvin Fisker. Good afternoon, Alan. Dave here.
Okay, so far I've got G7 NEH Graham and M7 AVO Dave, both staying with me. Any other G7s or M7s, please? Okay, nothing heard then. So we'll do the G6s and the M6s. Golf 6 and Mike 6, please.
6 November Yankee India. Name is Alan. Had it RAYNET. In and out, please, Alan.
Oh, so far it's just Alan, M6NYI, who's in and out. Any other G6s and M6s before I move on, please? Nothing heard then, so we'll move on to the Golf 4s. G4s, please.
Golf 4 Kilo, Whiskey, Tango, Dennis, no traffic.
Okay, I heard Golf 4 Kilo Whiskey Tango Dennis. Thank you for that. And I heard, well, I got carrier from G4 DTM, but no audio. Would you want to go again, please, Pete?
Yeah, Golf 4 Delta Tango Mike. 1, 2, 3 testing. Hope that's better, Alan.
Yes, got you that time, Pete. Got you on the log. Any other G4s before I move on, please?
G4 KIL, that's South Sussex, Philip. Okay.
Okay, got G4 KIL, Phil. Then I got what I think was a doubles. G4 KUJ, Trevor. And G4 EKM, Steve. I'll put you both in the log.
Yeah, Roger, I'm in and out, by the way, in and out, G4 EKM.
Now, I'm getting a lot of packet loss from Steve, sorry. Well, I'll leave you in the list, I'll come back to you on that. Any Golf 3s then, please? Golf 3s.
Golf 3 Victor, Echo Hotel, Chris in Winchester, Northwest Sounds, RAYNET. In and out, please. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chris. Got you in and out. Any other G3s before I move on to the Golf 1s? Nothing heard then. So Golf 1. G1 prefixes, please.
Mike 1 X-ray Echo Alpha. It's Peter. Over.
Yeah, good afternoon, Peter. I haven't heard you on here for a while. Beginning to be worried. I should have said any secondary prefixes are welcome, of course. I'm not used to doing national nets, that's the problem. But good to hear you on, Peter. Any other G1s of any persuasion before I move on? Nothing heard. So we'll go on to the 2s, as in 2E1 and 2M1, etc. and 2s. 2E2s and 2E1s? 2E0, that's the word I was looking for. The 2E0s and 2M0s, etc. Again, nothing heard. So we'll move on to the rich vein of the M0s. M0s, please.
Mike 0 Whiskey X-ray Golf. Shirley in Cornwall, in and out, and thank you for the net, Alan.
M0 India Tango Mike. Andy with Shirley in Cornwall, in and out, Jane Allen. Thank you very much for stepping up to the mark.
Okay, I've got Shirley and Andy in Cornwall, both in and out, and not a problem doing a net. Everybody's welcome to have a go. I'm sure Greg would look for more volunteers. It's not too onerous. Once you've got all the different screens up on the computers, and I've got someone logging for me today as well, which makes it considerably easier than last time I tried to do this, when I tried to do all of it on my own. Okay, we're moving on from the M0s then. We better try the G0s. Any Golf Zeros out there lurking, please?
Golf 0, Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, Richard E. Suffolk Rayner, in and out, and good afternoon to you, Alan.
So I've got Golf 0 CFB, Richard. Good afternoon, Richard. Same group as me. Good to hear you on. A very quiet day today. Any other G0s before I open it up to the internationals? Nothing heard there. So opening it up to the international liaison stations. You may wish to call in. Call signs first, please. Okay, nothing heard. This is 23531 Brandmeister Pheonix and Private DMR, the RAYNET-UK national channel talk group, available to both members of RAYNET and not members of RAYNET. You're more than welcome to put in your call sign and join in on this particular net. The more the merrier. Any call signs I've missed or calling in late, please? Now is your chance. Okay, nothing heard then, so we'll go round the loop. Thank you for all for joining in. Not too many on today. People must be busy, particularly getting ready for Mighty Oak, I don't doubt. I've been busy programming up radios, trying to get the ops orders in the head. Complicated by the fact we're liaising with local adjacent counties as well. But we won't dwell on that because we said we won't talk about Mighty Oak today, but I guess that's where people are. We'll start at the top then. Graham, G7, NEH, what have you been up to?
Yeah, G7NEH returning. Yeah, good afternoon, Alan, and thanks for doing the net this afternoon. First of all, just an apology. The net is not being streamed this afternoon due to some technical difficulty with OBS, but I am recording the net and we'll put it up a bit later on YouTube if people want to see it. So my apologies for that. No live stream today. Last week's net got a total of 26 views and 6 likes. So not too bad at all. And I've also cobbled together another hotspot using a Pi and a MDVM board, and that's listening off Fusion at the moment. So all seems to be working well. So back to you from G7NEH.
Yeah, thank you for that, Graham. It's a bit of a relief it's not been live streamed, to be fair, but never mind. You do a good job, and I praise you for that, as do we all. Round to Dave, M7 AVO.
M0JSA, M7 AVO. Good afternoon, Alan, and again, thank you for taking the net. Not much for me this week. I'm just calling in this week for the first time on a new little handheld I picked up at Yaesu FT70D. Quite a nice little dual banner fusion handheld. And again, similar to Graham, who is only a few miles down the road from me, coming in via the fusion system today. Back to you, Alan. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, the fusion audio always seems a bit fainter than the DMR. I think it's a way they work. Well, I've done fusion from here in the past, but I haven't missed it recently. I've got an FT3D, which I think is a really great little radio. One of my local members has got an FT5D, the new top of the range one, and he's getting seriously bad audio problems with that. And if you look at it very carefully, there's no hole where the microphone is, and you have to talk directly at the radio, not across the radio, to get any audio out of it at all. So if you've got an FT5D and people go, I can't hear what you're saying, according to Yaesu, you talk straight into it loudly. Round to Dennis, G4 KWT.
G4KWT. Yep, good afternoon to the net. All stations copied perfectly so far. I wasn't getting any packet loss that I could hear on G4EKM. Old school this end, Pheonix network via RF to GB7BK repeater in West Berkshire, which I get a good link into. What have I been doing this end? Using a new radio this end, or new to me, Retrovis RT90, which is the same as the MD9600 mobile, with the open firmware, which I'm very pleased with. It works very well, like as it does on the GD77. Makes it a very nice radio, and very nice receive audio on it as well. I've been working on the car systems. The car now got an Anytone 578. I've got the BT01 Bluetooth controller, which again, very nice little unit. makes it quite a nice, neat setup in the car with no large, bulky radios bolted on under the dashboard. The only thing I had noted here was generally the packet radio revival is gradually gaining momentum. Quite a bit of activity on 144950, 1K2 and 4326259 9K6 packet. So that's we're having a lot of fun with that. Other than nothing more from Berkshire. Back to you, Alan. Thanks for running the net. G4KWT.
Yes, thanks for that, Dennis. Yeah, this big exercise has thrown a lot of spanners in the works, and a lot of people start to look at other methods and going back to the old packet radio for mail and sending messages. We've certainly looked at some of the newer digital modes where you can do form filling. Obviously, encryption is becoming a big issue again now. I think that's been a really good, particularly for us in East Suffolk, a really good wake-up call, and made us think about a lot of things we haven't thought about for quite a while, including even RTTY, which is a bit scary. Round to Pete, G4 DTM.
Yeah, Golf 4 Delta Tango Mike returning. Not a lot to report from this end, more of a check-in. But I did note that G4 EKM was showing 25% packet loss at my end. But then again, G4 KIL was showing 8%. And that's on a nominally clean for everyone else at the moment. So, yeah, all interested and all noted. We're just swinging into a couple of weekends of user service exercises, doing marathons and the normal sort of stuff. So, going to be hitting the highest pot of our season shortly. Right, nothing much from this end. Golf 4 Delta Tango Mike, back to the group.
Yes, thank you, Pete. Yeah, I'm getting 31% packet loss off G4 EKM. Everybody else is clean. So there's something odd there somewhere. Yeah, we did East Suffolk done an event last weekend, half marathon, our first one of the year. Blew off a few cobwebs. We had some assistance from our sister group in the west of the county, Forest Heath, and that went really well. A bit of cooperation together, and we had a good day. But I don't think our next one is until the last weekend in April. That is our next one. It's a long distance walk. So we've got a bit of a quiet. Then we've got two on the side. We've got 2 weekend ones, a midnight walk followed by a 10k on the following day. So it's going to be a bit sleepy on that one, I think. But yes, we tend to be busy here May time. Okay, Roger Field, G4 KIL. I've got on here, G4 KIL.
From G4KIL. Thanks very much, then. So thanks for running the net. Our first event, if my events, is at the end of April. That's the first one in South Sussex. So we've had quite a long break since then. Only other things happening here. I think the exercise, round here is only tabletop and only involving our main controller for this group. So most of us not involved with that. The only other thing happening here, week on Tuesday, we have our monthly meeting. Members meeting for South Sussex. That actually going to involve an EGM to clarify a few points on our constitution. We had our AGM back in December. I think quite a few people had it more recently than that. That's the other things happening around here. Again, thanks for running the net. I might just say, in terms of an AVO, I think there's a very clear audio. I might just comment on that one. Certainly coming through here. So certainly seems to be a nice radio you've got there, Dave. Back to you then, controller from G4KL.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Yeah, I didn't actually comment. I haven't been commenting on the people's audio because I'm trying to get used to the headset I'm wearing. I've got one of the cheap Heil headsets. I've got it from a place near Heathrow. That's an HTH. Plugged into the little handies, the D3 versions. And I've got it plugged into an Anytone. 878, and it's working a treat. It really is working really, really well, and has saved me holding the microphone, as they say. Okay, I've got Trevor next, G4 KUJ.
T4 NRC in the group T4 KUJ. Yep, good afternoon, Alan, and thanks for picking up the net this afternoon. As you probably gather, I'm the other person filling in the log at the moment, so I'll carry on doing that until the end. Certainly clear audio from you, Dave, on the FT70. I've got one of those. They're quite a nice little rig, and been very pleased with that. Had one for some time now. And I'm also coming through on Fusion this afternoon. Your audio, Alan, I think you need to turn the gain down on your the mic gain down, because on speech peaks there's definitely some distortion that I can hear on either back through Fusion or on the RAYNET DMR repeater. Just a little bit on the heavy side as far as I'm concerned. So back to you, G4 NRC, G4 KUJ.
Yeah, Mike Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha returning. I've brought the microphone further away from my mouth, so hopefully that will help. You can never really tell with it, even on the echo. You don't always get a good answer. Listening to yourself is always very confusing. Next on the list is Steve, G4EKM. Hopefully we'll be able to get you, Steve.
Yeah, G4NRC, G4EKM. I was going to go in and out, but I'm just interested about the packet loss. So I know one station said I was coming through okay. I'm actually going via Brandmeister directly, so I'm not sure whether that is the problem or not. But we've had several events recently. We had a horse riding event up in Northumberland last weekend, and then we had a midnight walk last night and earlier hours of this morning, and it was very, very cold on the seafront. So apart from that, I will make this one my final, and hopefully you get us okay. From G4EKM.
Yes, got your fine, Steve. 0 packet loss that time. Come through loud and clear. In Northumberland, yes, I love that county. We've had a very wet overnight here in Suffolk, on the Suffolk coast, just near Felixstowe. All the roads around the village is all flooded and quite a lot of rain overnight. But yes, that's definitely cold. I don't know where the spring went. It didn't last very long. But where it's normally very cold is young Peter, whose go is next. Golf Mike 1 Echo X-Ray Echo Alpha CM1 XEA. Over to you, Peter.
Yes, thanks, Alan. Not the easiest call sign to say if you think about it. Fortunately, I got used to it. Right, in the absence of Mike, I shall give you a very brief weather report. Just thought it was a bit ironical. We've changed to summertime, so we've had intermittent snow all day. It's not lying though. It's 4 degrees, so well, the thermometer says it's 4 degrees. It feels like less. And yeah, I'm fine on not being on for a while. You're quite right. I have another hobby that is on a call-out basis, and it's been timing it, having me dragged out on a Sunday afternoon with monotonous regularity. I'm not on call today, so that's why I'm here. And I think that's it from me. There's nothing exciting happening. Our last event was February, and our next event is in a fortnight's time. Well, 13 days' time. It's a Saturday event. So, group-wise, nothing exciting happening up here. Not involved at all with the exercise. You wouldn't know it was happening if you around up here. So, I would bow out at this stage. I've got quite a lot of things to do today. But it was nice to be back on the net and say 73s to everybody on the net.
Yes, thank you, Peter. 73 to yourself, yes. Snow, yeah, that's a bit worrying, isn't it? That's good to hear you on. Okay, before we go around for a second lap, is there anybody else lurking in the rings with a burning desire to join the net? Call signs first, please. I'll take that as a no then. So back to the top and we'll run down for the finals. The first one on my list is Graham, G7NEH.
Yeah, G7NEH returning. Okay, not much more to add from this end. Just to let you know that I'm now coming through via the fusion room, not DMR as I was last time. So I'm actually coming through the hotspot I just put together using an FT2D handy. So hope it's okay. I'll be able to test the audio on the recording later. With that, not a lot else to add, Alan. So yeah, once again, many thanks for doing the net today, and my apologies to everyone for the net not being live streamed. But I will put a recording up there on YouTube sometime tonight. Okay, back to you from G7NEH.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. Yeah, you do a good job. That's best. That had a little bit of soft noise, almost soft digital noise in the background on that, which I didn't hear before. Nothing to be worried about, but it definitely had a different sound to what we had before. Have a good afternoon, and speak to you soon. M7 AVO, Dave, for your final, please.
M0 JSA, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Yeah, no, just thanks everyone for the nice comments about the radio, the new radio. Only had it a few days, still getting my head around it. And yeah, last night I had to break the news to the XYL that I've bought another radio, which you can guess went down like a lead balloon. But we'll get used to it, and she'll calm down one day. Thank you very much, Alan, for taking the net, and hopefully catch up with everyone next week. Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar.
Yes, thanks for that, Dave. I'm in my ex-Wales bad books as well, because I bought a new aerial myself during the week. Unfortunately, it's attached to an MX-5, and that hasn't gone down at all well. So I can sympathise with you there. But I'm not planning to put any kind of amateur radio in that, because I don't want to add any weight. Dennis, Golf 4, Kilo Whiskey Tango.
In the nick of time, just in time to rekey GB7BK. Yep, nice to hear everybody this afternoon. Excellent audio from G7NEH and M7 AVO. Your audio, Alan, is interesting. It isn't loud to me on Pheonix, but it has got a woolliness about it compared to the other audio from other stations. So that's you can tell you're using some sort of different microphone, but it's okay. He wants a bit of. If I was in doing my PA, put my PA hat on, I'd take some mid-range out. Anyway, nothing further from me. G4KWT.
Yes, thanks for that, Dennis. Yeah, I'm trying very hard to speak very clearly because I tend to mumble, and that may not help, and my Norfolk accent doesn't help at all. But yeah, good. Was this headset? I bought this headset after the exercise pre-test because I really needed something I could listen to the radio with without everybody else hearing what's going on, and I can't put up with things in my ears because I get annoyed after a while. So it sits on my head. It's a treat. It really is. Can't recommend it enough. I know it weren't cheap. Pete, Golf forward, Delta Tango Mike.
Yeah, Golf 4 Delta Tango Mike. Yeah, nothing further to add. Got a bit distracted over here, so there's quite a lot what was going on, but thank you for running the net today, Alan, and hopefully see everyone again next week. So, without further ado, back to you, Golf 4 Delta Tango Mike.
Yes, thank you for that. Phil, G4KIL.
From G4K, yeah, thanks again very much. As for any other comment there, we mentioned somebody mentioned the 85s and 8. I had that's what I'm using at the moment, and my main experience with that one is for various other reasons. I had to reinstall a hard disk on a machine and reinstall the operating system, which meant I could actually get the programming software to work for this radio, which was nice because on my own PC I can't get it to work, and that had been quite frustrating. But there we go. Very good. I hope to speak to you all again sometime. And again, thanks for running the net. G4KL clear then 73 tour.
Yes, thank you, Phil. 73 to you. I'm nearly run out of people. So we've got Golf 4 KUJ. Trevor, who's running on YSF. He said my voice is a bit loud before. Is that better now?
JSAG 4KUJ. Yes, Alan, as far as it's certainly, as far as I'm concerned, it's not the sort of peak distortion on speech peaks has disappeared, and it's a lot smoother. But I would agree with Dennis's comments regarding the overall frequency response, but it's quite readable. No trouble at all. Back to you from G4KUJ.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. You dropped out in the middle of that. I then came back for the last sentence. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But you did briefly disappear. And thank you very much for doing the log. It's one less thing to worry about if someone's doing the log and while I'm doing the talk, and that works really, really well. Next one is, I think, is lucky last. No, I think you were it. I think everybody else has gone. So it just leaves me to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules, as Greg usually does, and making the effort to come on, making it all worthwhile. It's always good to hear people, a good opportunity to test equipment. I'm sorry I can't give quite a substantial running commentary on emergency planning issues with Greg. Being stuck out here in the middle of nowhere doesn't help, but it is a joy to come on the nets on a Sunday and hear what other people are up to, and it's also a joy to do it as well. So I'm sure Greg would love an email from people saying, can I have a go at the net, please, Greg? And that is really good. So thank you very much, everybody. Best 73, good luck with the exercise if you're doing it, and we'll have a lot to talk about next Sunday at the same time. Best 73, M0JSA on QRT.